Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to start seedlings for your garden. There's nothing like fresh grown fruits and vegetables. And if you've never done it before, you will be amazed how much different they taste. Now the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure we have all of our stuff together, because you don't want to be running around, oh I forgot this, oh I forgot that. You don't want to be running around, so make sure you get everything together before you start. We have our bowl to mix our potting soil in with water to make sure it's good and aerated and got enough moisture in it to give your seedlings, or your seeds in this case, a head start. Then you have these trays. Now this is the bottom, and for the most part you'll be putting water in the bottom. These are your starting trays. Now I got these from Amazon, and this is the box that came in, about $10, and you get 60 cells. You get 5 trays with 12 cells in each tray. And then you have all these cool little tools to use for it. Then you're going to want your water. Then you're going to want, obviously, you're going to want your seeds, something to get the potting soil out with. Then you've got your potting soil. This is what I recommend. I've had a lot of good success with this. This is, you could get it at Walmart or any greenhouse, and it's like $6 for this big bag. So that's what I would recommend. And then last but not least, we have our fertilizing spikes. These I just got at Dollar Tree, $1.25 for each, and there's like quite a few in there. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. I can move this box. So what we're going to want to do first is we're going to want to grab our potting soil. Grab just a measuring cup. It's not that you're going to measure, it's just easier to get the potting soil out. Now, this potting soil is really light, and they've really pretty much already aerated it, which means they've mixed it up and they've gotten air through it, so it's kind of soft, and it's really fine, and it mixes up pretty easy, so you don't really have to worry too much about aerating it per se. And we're just going to get another cup and put it in there. Then what you're going to want to do is this is kind of the tricky part. You're going to want to get the water in here. And then, yes, you're going to get your hands dirty, but, you know, if you didn't want your hands dirty, you shouldn't be here. So we're going to mix it up. And what it's going to be is you want it to the consistency of like sand, wet sand. You don't want it too clumpy. You don't want it too mushy. You just kind of want it like wet sand, basically. And that's pretty much what this is. If you can see, you could still pull it apart. It's not, you know, it doesn't hold a shape, so it's not like mud or anything. Okay. Then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get our actual cells. So these are called cells, and this is where you're going to put all of your potting soil in, and these just lay right in here in the tray. And they've got holes in the bottom. If you remember at the beginning, I said that we're going to put water in it. I didn't say that at the beginning of this one, did I?
I'm not sure.
So anyways, you're going to put water in the bottom, and it'll pretty much water from the bottom up. And I know that sounds confusing, but you know what you're really watering is the roots, and the roots are going to be growing down. So if you water them, if you put water in the bottom of the tray, the roots will absorb it and will pull it up into the seedling. So then what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to pack these. Not real tight. You don't want to, build a sandcastle out of it.
And about how much soil are you putting in each of those cells?
To be honest with you, I'm not really measuring, but I'm just kind of taking a little pinch. When I say pinch, it's not like a little pinch, but it's a little handful, and you just kind of put it in until it's not quite at the top, because once you put the seed in there, you're going to then cover it. So you don't want to fill them all the way to the top, because you want to leave room to cover that seed so it can be protected. Now, even though I say that, seeds are pretty hardy. Aside from, you know, putting them through a grinder or a blender, you can't really destroy them, really. But you do kind of want to be a little gentle with them. Okay, as you can see, we've got all these cells filled out. And put these in here. Now, the good thing about using the measuring cup to get the soil out for when you're mixing it is I can tell you that I used about 2.5. I used 6.5 cups to fill all these out, and not even 2 cups of water, probably 1.5 cups of water. So that just gives you a little bit of a baseline. The biggest thing is to feel the consistency, make sure it feels like wet sand. Now, we've put all that aside, and what I've done is I've already put these humidifying lids on 2 of these, and I will show you how this other one is done if you get the same pack that I have, or if you get one similar. Now, if you notice, there's a little nub here, and there's a nub here on the top. You just kind of push it in. And there it is. It's in. And this will adjust how much humidity is in here. If it's full open, that means most of the humidity is going to get out and it's not going to rain on it. Basically, these are mini greenhouses. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our herbs. Now, these are the 2 that need to be planted by March 3rd. Like I said, the rule of thumb is 6 to 8 weeks after the last hard frost. So we're going to put our herbs in one container. And it's better to plant too much than not enough, because, you know, of course, no matter what kind of seeds you get, you could get the best seeds, but there is a chance that not all of them are going to grow or germinate. So this is a little double-sided tool that came with the pack of starter kits. And we're going to use this end to push it in, kind of twist it a little, and make a little hole. If you could see there's a little hole, and that's where you're going to put your seeds. Now we're just going to do that for these 3 for now. And we're going to start off with some parsley. Now, one thing I did forget to tell you is I'm just using Ziploc bags to put the remainder of the seeds in. That way it keeps it all together. So get some out of there. Get some out. You can see how teeny they are. And we're going to want to plant just a little pinchful. We're going to put just a little pinchful in each of these holes. So we're just going to take just a little pinch, maybe 4 or 5 seeds, and you're going to drop them into that hole. And then we're going to do the same with the next hole. If you get some on the outside of the hole, that's fine. It's not going to ruin anything. Like I just dropped one there. And then you can either plant the rest of them or you can put them in there. Now, we're going to get just a little pinch of our potting soil. Let's make it dry potting soil. And then we're just going to cover them. This is why you don't plant, or you don't put the potting soil all the way to the top. And don't smush it down like you're working on clay. Kind of just gently pat it down. So we've got 3 parsleys here. Now you can always do research before you plant to see when is a good time to plant them. Just make sure that you're looking at starting. You're not looking at, you've got seedlings that you get from, Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and you're going to be planting those in the ground. Make sure you look up how to, start seedlings. Now, thyme, which is what this is, these seeds are really small. So again, you just take a little pinchful and you drop them in that hole. Don't make the hole too deep. Just, you don't want it to, the hole to come out the bottom, because then you're going to lose all your seeds. And then nothing will grow. And then you take the remainder, put it in there. And then you take some more dry potting soil. And you just sprinkle it on there and pat it down. Now that's all of our herbs that we're planting right now, because the other ones are kind of late starters. So, we've got those. I just got Ziploc sandwich bags. And you don't even need to mark the bags. I mean, what you should do is you should mark the bags of what year you planted them, because some seeds don't only last like a year. I don't want to keep them outside over winter, because then you'll kill them off. You want to keep them inside that's, somewhat warm. I just keep them in a drawer. So, that's done. So you take the lid and you pop it on. And for right now, we're going to go with half humidity. So cover up half of those holes. Let's see how that does first. And then we're going to put that one off to the side. Now we'll mark them in just a second. So make sure that you know where you're putting them. Now we're going to go with our vegetables. My lovely cameraman is going to love these vegetables that I'm planting. So, I'm going to just do the same thing. Now, if you see, I'm not even going in that deep. Pretty much just the tip. I'm just going to put it in there and kind of twist it a little bit. We didn't do that on this one, so yeah. So we're going to do our cauliflower. And this is pretty much the same with everything. Now these are kind of cool. These have a little bit of a shell on them, so they're a little bit more hardy than some of the other ones. And we're just going to put those in the hole. Now don't worry, I'm going to do some other videos of, them progressing. What do you do if you have too many that have sprouted or grown? And then again, take your dry. And yes, you're going to get dirty. You're going to get the area dirty. You wouldn't be here trying to learn how to garden if you didn't want to get dirty. So, then our next one, we're going to skip one here. It doesn't matter if you skip one or not, but I'm going to do it. Now these bad boys, these also have shells on them, or husks or whatever. And you're just going to want to, these are easier. You're just going to want to take about 3 of these, drop them in the hole. Oop. Get in there, mister. Or miss. However you identify. I don't care. Just as long as you get in there. Oops, I'm sorry. Then again with the dry. Okay, so we've got cauliflower and we've got spinach. This one though, I am going to mark. Now this set also came with these plastic markers. So what you're going to want to do, and this is one reason why I skipped them, write cauliflower or Cali or however you want to do it so that you can remember what it is. And see, I put them down too low. You're going to want to put it up higher. And then we're just going to pop that in there. And then we've got spinach on the other side. And then you're going to pop that in there. So this way, when you mark them, you don't have to worry about trying to avoid the hole or anything like that. You could just pop it in and it's all good. So then we're going to pop that lid on. Now these don't snap on. They just lay on. And we're going to want to do about half humidity for that. We're going to put that aside. And now last but not least are our wildflowers. I am going to plant, once these pop up, I am going to put these in hanging planters. Now, truth be told, I have never started flowers before, so we'll see how this goes. I got this just because I like butterflies. I like to attract the birds. It's just all personal preference. I also got these at the Dollar Tree. So they've got a whole wide variety of different types. So, you know, whatever, certain flowers will attract certain animals, creatures. And if you look in there, we're not going to put it on my hand. We're just going to get pinches. These are all mixed. They have different kinds of seeds. And we're just going to plop a little pinchful in there.
You mentioned they can attract. What about ones that can repel?
They do have, marigolds are said to repel bees and stinging, excuse me, bees and stinging insects. They also can repel mosquitoes. So those are good to plant around, like if you have like say a bonfire and you don't like the smell of citronella. But if you're going to have a bonfire, if you're going to have a place where you go and sit during the day, plant some marigolds. You can even plant marigolds around other flowers that you plant. So like if I was going to plant these on the ground, I can plant these, like have a set spot, and then around the front of them I can plant marigolds. And marigolds come in different colors as well, so that they can repel supposedly stinging insects. Now,
which is beneficial to...
That's beneficial to people who are allergic to stinging insects or just don't like stinging insects. So, you could do that. To be honest, it's never worked for me. But I know some people who swear by it. I think it also depends on what kind of flowers you plant behind the marigolds and how many marigolds you plant versus how many of the, wildflowers or whatever that you plant.
So it's like the attraction of the plants behind it versus the repelling nature of the marigold.
If they can deal with the smell or whatever repels them to get to the wildflowers, then it's not going to repel them.
Okay.
But, so, now... You could pretty much mark these. Now you don't have to. You can plant all of these in the same starter tin if you want. I'm just doing this because it helps me stay organized. And then we're just going to put wildflowers. Now these, since we filled up all of them, you're going to want to slip it, kind of point it towards the side here and slip it down behind where you planted. That way, where you filled them, that way you don't worry about disrupting any of the seeds, because right now we just want them to be comfortable and all that. Now we're almost done. This is actually really fun, so let me know, like, in the comments what you guys think, what you guys planted, if it works for you. If you have any suggestions. Now these, you're going to have to read the directions. And it says, for best result, insert new spikes every 60 days. So every 2 months, you're going to want to put in new spikes. Push each spike into the soil around the plant, halfway between the plant and stem. Well, we don't have anything, so, we could just pop it in there. Right here. If you have a pot diameter of 4 inches, you put 2 spikes. Well, we have 1. So we're just going to pop that in there and see how this goes. Another truth be told, this is the first time I'm using this kind of fertilizer. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm just pushing them in the corner. That way I'm not disrupting any of the seeds. The seeds aren't really taking root right now, but you know, you still want to like leave them alone. That way they, you know, they get all comfortable and kind of settle in where they're going to be. Now I'm going to put them in the other ones, but I mean, you're seeing how I'm doing this, so, you know, I don't think I need to show you again. But
now, are you going to, would you need to put them in the ones you skipped over here?
No, you're just going to put them in the ones that you planted. So we've got 3 cauliflower here. We're just going to pop them in the 3. Now these are going to take anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks to before you start really seeing any. Actually, you could probably see it in a couple of days, but it's going to take anywhere between 3 to 8 weeks before you can plant them. And before you plant them, there's certain things that you have to do, but we'll go over that in another video because I don't want to overwhelm you and have you throw your arms up and say, no, I'm not doing this. Because this is really fun, and it's actually very satisfying and rewarding when your vegetables start popping up and you can eat fresh vegetables for most of the summer. Now we put all of these humidity dials at half. We're going to see how that goes. Because this is my first time using these, I don't know how well it takes to humidity and all that. Now, what you're going to want to do, since we're all done, we still have to label this one. But since we're all done, you need to put them in a place that gets sun but stays warm. So like it's the end of February, so it's still cold outside, so we're not going to put them, you know, on a porch that doesn't get heat. We're going to put them inside. We're going to put them where I put mine is in the kitchen because there's a nice window that lets in a lot of light, and my seedlings did really well last year. So we're going to put parsley on this, and then thyme on this, and then we're going to pop these in the same way we did it with the other ones. We're going to point it towards the back and just kind of slip it in. Now we've got one last thing to do, and I don't have a spray bottle, but that's okay. The spray bottle is best so that you don't overwater, so that you can be rather gentle with it. And then we're going to go ahead and pop these in. Now, if you see these has like little string looking things, that's part of the potting soil. It's fine. You don't have to go through and worry about picking all that out. They'll grow just fine. They're going to get it when you replant them outside, transplant them actually. When you transplant them outside, they're going to get more than that. So we're just going to take our leftover water, and I'm going to use my left hand, try to, and we're just going to lightly water. See how it sits on top and then it soaks in. You don't want to overwater these right now because you've got a lot of moisture in most of the soil that you put in there, so you just kind of want to drizzle it on there. And if you remember, there's holes in the bottom, so the excess water will, filter out the holes, and could very well, when the plants say, hey, I'm thirsty, oh look, there's some water down here, it'll just soak up the water. Now, that's pretty much it. We're just going to leave them by the window, get some light. We'll be back in a couple days to see how they're doing. And if you like the video, hit subscribe, maybe even hit that bell so you can get the updates for when we see how they're doing. And when I'm 3 to 8 weeks, I'll be showing you how to harden them off so that we can plant them outside in your garden. Thank you for tuning in, and happy gardening. Okay, so this is the app that I use to help me with my gardening. Now, if you see up here, it says what to do this week. Once you plan your garden and you plan out the things that you want to do, you'll see all of the things that you're planning on pop up on this home screen. This is the screen that you'll see when you first open the app. Things to do this week: carrots and cauliflower. And it'll tell you this here is order seed, and then this here is grow seed. You can put in here anything from you're buying the seedling to you're starting the seedling, which is what we're going to show you how to do in this video. But this goes through all the days. It tells you what to do, when to do it. This is one of the most amazing apps that I have ever used for my gardening. Then if you click this little leaf down here, it basically shows you, these are, what to plant for, like if you're a salad lover. If you click on that, it'll show you what you want to grow. If you want to grow things to really do great salads, it'll show you, and then you just click add to garden, and it'll add all of these, and then you'll go back to this, and though all of those things will show up in here. It'll tell you exactly when to buy the seeds, when to plant the seeds, when to transplant the seeds. This is one of the most amazing apps. I can't speak any more highly of it. And then if you click on these 3 lines, it'll give you a list of options. If you click on plan your garden, it'll take you back to that same screen that we were just on, and it's amazing. It'll tell you everything that you need for whatever you're wanting. Now they even have beginner summer. Click on this, and it'll give you all of these different vegetables and herbs that are good for beginners. You just click on add to garden, it'll pop it right in there. Great app. Go ahead and download it. It's free. There are some things that you can't do unless you purchase the pro version, but for the most part it's free, and pretty much everything that you're going to want to do, at least starting off, you can use in the free version. So go ahead and download it, look it over. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to either contact the developer of the app or to contact me, and I can help you out with it because I love this app. Can I say that again? Again, this is called Farm Your Garden, and I'll show you what it looks like when you go to download it. And I apologize, it's called Farm Your Yard. And this is the little icon that you're going to want to look for. Since I already have it downloaded or installed, I'm going to click open, and it takes me right back there. So anyways, that's what it's called. It's called Farm Your Garden, or Farm Your Yard. And it has this little house with a carrot. And this is for an Android phone. It is available for Apple iOS. So, I can't stress how great this app is, and I can't suggest it highly enough, especially if you're just starting out. This is a great app. Farm Your Yard.